you very much. Well, I'm currently having a breakdown. Rear cylinder head gasket has blowing a few miles ago and has gone properly, and I do have a spare gasket in the tools here, and a chap I just chatted to at the club said I could probably change the cylinder head gasket at the roadside, but I've only got spanners, and I think you need to do this with sockets, otherwise you might harm it. So the get you home fix is take out the rear plug, which I've done, and seeing if it'll get me home as a 500 single. Obviously I'm going to be riding it very, very gently, but I'm going to let it cool down before I do anything else first. And the location of the breakdown is quite historic, because there's a family connection for me here. So I'm on the A272, just by the little stone bridge with the traffic lights on. If you've been along 272, you'll know that. And I'm outside Broughton Church, and it's a connection to my family, because in there, in his full armour and regalia, is Lord Camoys is buried. And my oldest ancestor was an archer, a mounted archer at Agincourt, which is where Lord Camoys held the left flank, I recall from memory. And then my ancestor came here as well, and rumour has it he was involved in building the first stone bridge, so probably not the one we cross now, but something that sits underneath it. So anyway, I'm going to let this little machine cool down and then see if I can get home. And pretty much all old English country churches are always open. So hopefully that looks promising. Visiting England, you must come and visit all the old churches. They are fantastic. Wow. And how old is that, I wonder? Let's turn some lights on. It's a lovely smell in here, kind of a musty smell. I realise I'm way off topic with motorbikes, but some of you might still be watching. I should pause for a moment. It is damn impressive. Probably not the right word to use in a church, but it is very impressive. And it was painted at the same time as Lord Camoys was here, probably under his instruction and financing, so possibly my ancestor, being his servant, was involved, maybe even painted some of it. Maybe some of the pictures are of him. It's 7 deadly sins, gluttony, etc. But the one I quite like, and let me try and zoom in so you can see it, is that one, which is giving drink to the traveller, which, as I've been fancying a pint all day, is kind of on my mind. So enough of that. Another one of the images apparently shows someone being tortured by the devil. Not sure which one that is, but I'm only being tortured by a Brough Superior head gasket, which is a small matter. So anyway, as I'm in a church, I should seek the support of him up there, or wherever he may be, if he's a he, and see if he'll get me home on the Brough. Can only hope. Anyway, look at this. This is truly magnificent. And we'll go down and have a look at Lord Camoys quickly in all his fine period regalia. Right, so as I was wittering on about outside, my ancestor John Gander was a Sussex archer at Agincourt, and he fought on the left flank of the battle and survived it. And he fought for Lord Camoys, who was from Sussex. And in Broughton Church is this magnificent memorial to Lord Camoys. He died just a few years after the Battle of Agincourt, and this, I assume, was put up at the same time as his death, and this pictures him in what he would have been wearing during the battle. Now, I suspect my ancestor John didn't have this. This was for Lord's full armour. It's the equivalent of me wearing the state-of-the-art Rukka gear. So there he is. I suspect my ancestor probably just had a helmet and some chainmail, but he was apparently a bit of a dab hand with a longbow. Otherwise he wouldn't have been at Agincourt doing stuff to the French. So, and if anyone can read Latin, maybe some of my audience do, you like old bikes, there's bound to be a few of you, you can read what that says. But there he is, Lord Camoys. I've no idea where my ancestor's buried. I don't even know when he died. But if he died in the service of Lord Camoys, he's probably outside in the churchyard somewhere. So, and there's a history that Lord Camoys, as soon as he arrived back from Agincourt, put the first stone bridge down, the little bridge outside. And I like to think that my ancestor was part of that team, as he would have been working for Lord Camoys that built it. So that's the association with Trotton, and it makes it all slightly odd. That's where the Brough would come to a halt. So I could pop in here and remember my ancestors. Anyway, that's enough historical rambling. Let's see if I can go and get home on this Brough. Well, this tells you that I did not get home on the one cylinder, as unfortunately just as I was coming over the brow of that hill, thank you very much for lighting that up for me, it cut out completely. And being a Brough Superior and always providing the very finest service to its customers, it coasted to a halt in the Bluebell pub in Cocking, which is just south of Midhurst, which has recently been voted one of the best pubs in the county. And so that's obviously where you would ideally coast to a halt with a broken down motorbike, and that's where I am. And amusingly, while I was standing next to it all hot and bothered, phoning up the recovery company, a really nice chap who's got an old classic car just came up to me and handed me a pint, because us lot with old classic vehicles, we need beer from each other just to keep going. So there it is, and I won't show you it, but both the heads have blown their gaskets. So probably the next time you see it, I'll be taking it to pieces, and you can see what the inside of a Brough Superior looks like. Anyway, looks very nice when it's kind of sparkly, doesn't it? Still enjoying riding it. I still like one. So all you need to do is to watch this video about 25 million times, and maybe that will give me enough commission from YouTube to buy one. Right, so Midhurst Engineering have arrived far too early. I haven't had enough beer yet, but they're an expert service. I know them well. I've used them before with other old tat. So, well, that was very simple to do. The seat comes off with a pinch bolt like a bicycle, so that was very straightforward. Undo the fuel line from the tank, that's just one thing. And then under the tank it's held on by 4 nuts, which is, once you've got underneath and had a look, is pretty simple to do. You have to kind of lie down next to it, or I did anyway, and then the tank comes off, and then off came the head. Very simple. And as you can see, that's exactly how it was when I lifted the head off. Looks pretty good condition, considering it's done, I'm not sure exactly how many miles, but I'm understanding it's done at least 20,000 miles, something like that, since the heads were last off. So looks pretty good. Right, now to take the other one off, as that is the head gasket, which is outside, which is a bad place for a head gasket to be. I want them inside. So anyway, off with the next head. Off with his head.